Please join me in welcoming Member of the United Kingdom Parliament, the Right Honourable Mark Pritchard, to the stage for high-level remarks.
Thank you. Can I first thank Ali Soufan and his excellent team once again for organising such an insightful and impressive global security forum. The Greek philosopher Aristotle wrote, "Nature abhors a vacuum." And perhaps just like in the world of natural science, the world of political physics is the same. Today I want to look briefly at the nexus and the legal and reputational convenience of malevolent state actors using proxies and non-state actors to provide deniable international reach, stand off kinetic action, and provide an illicit onion ring of dark financing through human trafficking, drug smuggling, illegal arms sales, and increasingly, financial fraud. But first, I want to comment on global governance. That's governance. For all the flaws of global institutions, I would argue these same organizations are far superior to the imperialism, nationalism, and isolationism of the 19th and early 20th centuries, and neo-imperialism. For example, NATO has kept and maintained the peace in Europe for the last 80 years. Multilateralism is still worth pursuing, protecting, and defending. That said, many of the world's international organizations do need reform, and reform should be seen as a far better option than abolition. And when it comes to economic security and national security, America first should not mean America alone. Whether in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, or the Arctic and High North, America cannot do everything, everywhere, all of the time, on its own. I'm glad there are still many in Congress who get this on both sides of the aisle. And I'm confident that the constitutional checks and balances of the US Constitution will provide the, let's say, necessary restraints. So back to tech. The abuse of tech plays an increasing role in terms of national and transnational threats, cybercrime, disinformation, fake news, fraud, all are constant threats, often elaborate, always evolving, and increasingly the malign state actors camouflaged, embedded with serious organized crime and hacking syndicates. Benign tech is a force for good in the world, providing huge benefits to human geography, economic empowerment, and borderless prosperity. And in so many ways, tech's story has only just begun. But so often tech is used by malign non-state actors to disrupt, divide, diminish microeconomies, democracy, news reporting, the minds of the young, supply chains, and undermining under the rule of law. The necessary and close relationship between big tech and governments is understandable, but is nonetheless, I would suggest, conflicted. The role of the private sector provided added value and unique capabilities to government should not be traded off for unregulated, untaxed, or less scrutinized darker elements of what tech can do. It is not enough for tech companies to plead for special status when it is clear their rewards are high, their influence global, both wide and deep. My personal assessment is that tech needs smart regulation, certainly more competition, and a recalibration and rebalancing of this relationship with government. Necessary collaboration between the two should not mean governments turning a blind eye to breaking of laws, license for an unfiltered and unchecked dark web, or public policy vetoes. Big tech has big responsibilities. Big tech needs to do more to shut down malign non-state actors, and government should not rush to absolve big tech for the wrongs of tech in return for future technology transfer and unfettered access. Perhaps the question arises, if the relationship between governments and big tech is conflicted, is it also compromised? Does this compromise equate to a type of corporate compromat? Who wins? Who loses? Who is in control? Has big tech gone beyond even the power of the global banking system, too big to fail, too big to be sufficiently stood up to, too big to be fairly taxed or commensurately regulated? An over-reliance, and I stress an over-reliance on big tech by governments, paradoxically, and perhaps over time, might prove a strategic security risk to those governments, a democratic risk to liberal democracies, and on a collision course with the international rule of law. That is why regulatory oversight, competition, and transparency needs to be a counterbalance to the disproportionate power and influence of big tech. Let me be clear in conclusion. Big tech is a force for good in the world, but in tech we trust is not a mantra without inherent risks, both to consumers and governments. Risks malign state and non-state actors will use to their joint advantage. The gray zone, the fiscal and moral gray zone in tech must end. Thank you.